Hey, what's up, my YouTube fam? I'm back. This is Lad with the best credit repair channel. Today, we're going to be talking about debt collectors. We're going to go really on the debt buyers, right? I'll do another video on people that are assigned to debt, but we're going to concentrate on debt buyers today. We're going to talk about it from your credit report all the way down to validations on all the things, even all the way down to what's supposed to be in a debt collection letter. We're going to break everything down. So this may be a little long video, but you need all this information compact so you can understand it and know how to your strategy to get these accounts off your credit report. We're going to break everything down, even down at the end on the strategy. If everything fails and you just want to settle and get it off your account, what is the best strategy to do that, to get it off with minimal money? So we're going to talk about all that. But we always got to give a shout out to my new subscribers that come to the channel every single day. I appreciate y'all for subscribing. Please like, subscribe, and share these videos. You know the deal. We all been on YouTube long enough. The more we like, the more we share these videos, the more YouTube pushes these videos out to more people. And that's what I would like, and I hope you like the same thing, because I'm bringing you this free information, and all I'm asking for you is to hit the like button. Just show it in your heart. Big hearts. Let's help each other out. Good things come to people that do good things, man. I'm a big believer in that, and that's why I do this. And I've been fortunate, and I think, my goodness, is always good things are coming back to me. So hit that like, subscribe, hey, and promote the channel. So let's get into it. The first thing we're going to talk about, a debt buyer. So what is that debt buyer has done? So first of all, you have a company like Capital One that have some credit cards that they charged off, and then they had this bulk amount. We're going to say $100,000. Midland Funding called up Bank of America and said, hey, we're interested in buying some bad debt. Do you have? Oh, yes, we have $100,000. They sell it to them for maybe $10,000 or $15,000 in what they call a purchase agreement. They purchase that debt from Capital One. Now, let me go over how it should report on your credit report, things you need to be looking for. So a collection account has to report it like this. If it's not like this, there is rules, and I'll go over it for how you dispute. First thing, Midland Funding. If Midland Funding is the collection agency, they must report who the original creditor is, Capital One. If they don't have Capital One or the original creditor name on there, that is a disputable item. You as a consumer have a right to know where this debt is coming from. Don't let nobody tell you they don't. You do. If you don't know where the debt's coming from, you just ain't going to be paying nobody. That's just like paying somebody around the corner, say you owe them money. You don't know where I owe you money from, right? So they must have the original creditor's name on your credit report. They say this is where this debt is coming from, right? So then you're gonna have it's gonna say charge off or collection account, and then it's gonna, because you typically they say collection / charge off. Then it's gonna have the balance. Right? Now, if you see something where it says a past due balance, they can't have a past due balance. Why? Because you never signed an agreement that created a payment schedule. So since you don't have a payment schedule, they can't say you're past due on a payment. All they can say is you owe the debt. They can't say anything about a payment schedule. You're past due. If they say you are past due, that is a disputable offense, and you dispute it. Midland Funding is reporting a past due balance. I never entered into a contract or have any type of scheduled payment with them. So I can't be past due on a payment that is not even existing. So that's how you dispute that. They cannot have a past due on your collection account. Now, we're going to keep it moving. You're going to have date last active and date last reported. Date last active is just saying the when they first report that account, that is the date last active. It shouldn't change unless they add interest on the account. That's your date, or you made a payment on the account. That would change that date. Other than that, that date should not change, right? The date reported is going to change because every month they're reporting on the account, right? So we got that. Now, the next thing, they cannot have any information in your 7-year payment history. Again, you never establish or have a scheduled payment. So they can't report you past due in January because you don't have a scheduled payment with them. So they can't report anything in your 7-year payment history. If they do, that is a disputable offense. You dispute that. Again, I don't have any payment schedule with Midland Funding for them to be reporting any information in my 7-year payment history. This is inaccurate reporting and the account must be deleted, right? That's it. Those are the simple things on a collection account. If those things are not are missing, meaning there's nothing in the payment history, you don't have a past due payment and all the other things, it's actually reporting accurate. I'm not saying you can't dispute the account because that collection account may not even be in that office anymore and the collection account may not even took it off your credit report. So you still can dispute the legitimacy of this account, right? So now we got past that. We're past the credit report. Now you want to deal with how do I deal with a validation? Now, collection accounts, we just explained, and let me explain it again, that they buy debt. So Capital One had $100,000 in debt. They sold to Midland Funding for $10,000, maybe $15,000, right? They sold that debt. And when they sold that debt, $100,000, that's a lot of debt. That's a lot of people, right? So do you think they sent them contracts and all the paperwork and all the bill cycles and statements? No, they typically sent them the last statement when they charged off the account. That's why sometimes when you ask for it, you get a digital copy of the last bill, right? That's all they receive, right? So because they receive that, that's all they got. So you got to remember what's going on with the debt buyer and the person they bought the debt for. Let me read something to you. Bank of America said it would not make any representation, warranties, promises, conveyance, agreement, or guarantees of any kind or character whatsoever about the accuracy of the account information it was selling. So what they're saying is, we're selling you this debt at your own risk. We cannot guarantee that these amounts that we're selling to you, that we're giving you, are accurate. So in that's telling you you already have leverage on your side. Because of that, you already have leverage, but as consumers, we don't know because our mindset is that we think, yes, I had that credit card, yes, I charged it up, yes, I didn't pay it, so yes, I owe Midland Funding, but that's not necessarily true. Midland Funding, because they bought that debt, has to prove that they have a legal right to collect on this debt. We don't challenge them enough. We let them get away with enough. And we'll talk about some different strategies. We'll talk about amounts and what's the best approach because the system is still rigged, right? But the way that they do things, we have an advantage. We just got to know how to use the advantage and for us to come out as winners, right? So you got the first thing you want to do is you got a validation. You want a validation letter, right? Now let me explain. You want to say, and I have what I use is affidavits. So I like to use affidavits where I'm gonna ask specific questions on those affidavits. So that's what is so important to me is the affidavits. So in that affidavit, we're gonna ask specific questions. I'm gonna bring an affidavit because it's a statement of fact. Like I'm asking you for statements of facts. I have an affidavit right here. I'm gonna read to you. So this is how I do my affidavits. I say, come now, the collection company name, whoever it is, on account, whatever the account number is, the undersigned, affidavit duty, and sworn on oath, deposed and says that he or she is an officer of the collection company, and as the officer of the collection company, he/she has the authority to execute this affidavit on behalf of the collection company name and to bind the company/individual to its provision. Then next I put the collection company name understand all the laws regarding the Fair Debt Collection Act according to 1692G, the Fair Billing Act, the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, and the Fair Credit Reporting Act under 1681 S2B under Section 623. Then I also say the collection company name understands the verification and ownership of the alleged debt is by affidavit. The sworn statement as per the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act and the FTC that this affidavit must be notarized to become a valid verification of debt. Then a little bit more, I keep going. I say the collection company understand that they have firsthand knowledge of this alleged debt in question. Meaning you understand, you know about this debt. You know all the statements. You understand this is accurate, and you can prove that this debt and the amount is accurate. The collection company understand they own 100% of this debt by way of a purchase agreement. A purchase agreement, they don't like showing you that purchase agreement because it's going to state in there that there's no way that they can prove that this count is accurate. And the fair and from the collection company or have been assigned this debt and the assignment contract, right? So I'm gonna give you a little bit more. The collection company name, I am requesting all documents on this debt and the breakdown of this debt. Please, no screenshot or digital statements that you received. I need a breakdown of how you come up with this amount that I owe. And it's a lot more in there that I break down. It's actually 2 pages of information that I'm requesting to let them know I am serious about this debt. Right? So I'm going to send that off certified mail to the collection company. And if there are inaccuracies on my credit report, I'm going to dispute that. And I'm going to make sure that they mark it as disputed, because if they don't, that's a violation. Remember, they trying to get money from us. I'm going to try to get some money from you if you don't follow the rules. And a lot of times these debt collectors don't follow the rules. So there's opportunity for us to get money from them or get these off our credit report. Now you sent off that letter. Now there are things that are required in a debt collection letter. And we're going to cover those type of things, what is required in a debt collection letter. It's certain things they must put in those letters, and I got all that stuff right here because I got all my information right here. There are certain things they must put in a debt collection letter that is very important, right? So, first thing they must put it, this is an attempt to collect a debt. First thing, you always need to look in those letters and it must be in there. If it's not in there, that is a Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, and you got the letter to prove it that they're in violation. Right? They must have their office hours printed on that letter. If they don't have their office hours printed on that letter, it is a violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act. They must have their physical address for you to dispute this. They can't give you a P.O. box. If they have a P.O. box, that's a violation because you have a right to send your dispute letter straight to a physical address, not a P.O. box, and it should have a physical address. They can't have words in there like litigation or legal action. The only way they can have that is if they already have had a summons out for you and they have already done that process. If they're just sending you a letter, they cannot use that language. If they use that language, that is against the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act because they're threatening you into trying to pay them. So if you see those words in there, litigation, what is litigation and legal action, then they're in violation. And they can't use words as pay now, pay immediately. These words should be avoided in that first letter. So you sent them and they sent back and any of that stuff is in there. You need to be, look, I would be taking them to court. These are violations. The collection aid should never offer a creditor a loan agreement or order to collect on a debt, right? So those are the things that you need to understand that in the letter. I'm going over everything with you. Those are things that you should look for in those letters. There are multiple things that are happening when you're interacting with these debt collectors, right? There's other things that you could put in your letter. Things like what the money you say I owe is for. You also explain how you calculated that I owe this money. That's a big thing. How did they calculate it? They didn't. They just got a statement saying that you owe this money. But how do they know that what you owe is what you owe? Because they can't. And in the purchase agreement, it's going to tell them that they can't verify that this is accurate. That's why that purchase agreement, and they will never send it to you. They would never send anything that even show anything about that purchase agreement, right? You want to verify the original creditor, which they should send you who the original creditor. You want to make sure is it within the statute of limitations in your state. All these things that you want to make sure is happening in that on when you're validating or you're sending that letter in and the questions that you are asking. But there are other strategies. So say like you validated the debt. Let's go back a little bit. The credit report is accurate. You sent off a validation letter. They come back and said it was validated. And then say you owe $1,000. This is where the dilemma comes in. Now, some people may say, well, I'll take them to court. It may cost you $100 to go down and you could take them to court. If you do your homework, you make it win that case. But some people like, I don't have the time. I'm uncomfortable. I'm scared if I go in there, I'm going to mess it up. And then I'm going to end up having to pay them anyway. And I wasted my time and my money taking them to court. So now you're thinking $1,000. Do I pay them $1,000? I wouldn't pay them $1,000 if I'm going to settle me. And I have videos on this and I posted up about a restrictive endorsement. I owe them $1,000. I'm going to use a restrictive endorsement letter. What is that? that is a contract between me and the collection agency, right? Right? It's all in my master dispute package, right? And it's got certain verbiage that needs to be on the letter. And I'm gonna tell you this, and you're gonna use a personal check, and it's things that needs to be on the check. There's certain verbiage that needs to be in there, right? If they cash that check, you have, and the certain verbiage that you put on there, it's gonna be your proof that they agreed to your terms and conditions for removing the collection account off. So I would start off sending them $200. I wouldn't send them 4, 5, 6. I send them 200. If they fall for the okie doke, the trick, then that's on them, right? So now I done got out of it for a lot less money than I originally owed, and I'm gonna get it off my credit report. All this stuff is in my master dispute package. Like I tell you, I bring it with strategies, right? So that's a way, right? But you gotta make sure you understand these collection accounts are easy to get off. If we do our homework and do our due diligence and understand strategies and what is their weakness, we can get these removed. You have to get this stuff removed off your account. I would not be paying a debt collector if they're not going to take it off my credit report. Listen, take me to court. That's why most people, as many people that have collection account, it's a small percentage of people that go to court. You know why? Because they ain't got the documents to win in a courtroom. They don't. Now, if you owe like $5, $6, $7,000, me personally, you're gonna have to prove to me that I owe this money. I may try that. If I owe, listen, I had somebody with I think it was a $7,000 collection account, and I used that restrictive endorsement. They say let's try it. We sent them $1,200. They cashed it, and they end up removing it because they entered into a contract. The same way they trying to tell you you entered into a contract with the original creditor. Excuse me. You just entered into a contract with me. And in that contract said exactly what you needed to do. So, but if you have any questions about collection accounts, how to get them off your credit report, what strategies are out there, these are the 90% of the strategies you can use. But if you really want to know more about it, let me know. Shoot me an email. Hopefully I covered enough information to help you on your journey to get these accounts off. Side note, medical debts, paid medical debts can no longer, regardless, you don't even have to settle with them. You can, depending on the amount, if you're trying to get out of it for less money. But if you have a medical debt for $5,000 and they accepted $100, it has to come off your credit report. They cannot keep it on your credit report. That passed last year in July, so you should not be having any medical debts on your credit report. You should be getting those medical debts off of your credit report. So, but if you have any questions or anything, and medical debts before were a little bit more difficult. And I don't mean difficult to get off. I mean, there are other avenues that you can go off, like HIPAA and all stuff that they may be violating, stuff like that. But, you know, medical debts are much easier to get off your credit report now. But if you have any questions, please like, subscribe to the channel. Please hit the thumbs up. Hopefully I bring y'all some good information. I continue to bring this good information. We're going to do some credit building videos coming up. So stay tuned because you need to be, if you're getting this stuff removed, you also need to be building your credit. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you for all y'all do. Thank you for all my new subscribers. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'm out.